to Gurukul Live Lectures. Today we are going to start the new series called The Art of Being Happy. It's a value addition course in University of Delhi with 2 credits. So starting with the concept of happiness. Happiness is a subjective emotional and mental state characterized by positive feelings of joy, contentment, satisfaction and fulfillment. And it is often associated with a sense of well-being, pleasure and a positive outlook on life. Happiness can be experienced in response to a broad range of factors such as achieving a goal, spending time with loved ones, engaging in enjoyable activities, experiencing beauty in the world, or simply feeling a sense of inner peace and harmony. The experience of happiness varies greatly among the individuals and the cultures, encompassing the factors such as achieving goals, spending time with loved ones, engaging in enjoyable activities, appreciating beauty in the world, or experiencing inner peace and harmony. Happiness is something that people seek to find, yet what defines happiness can vary from one person to the other person. Typically, happiness is an emotional state characterized by the feeling of joy, satisfaction, contentment and fulfillment. Happiness has many different definitions. It is often described as involving the positive emotions and the life satisfaction. When most of the people talk about the true meaning of happiness, they might be talking about how they feel in the present moment or referring to a more general sense of how they feel about life overall. Because happiness tends to be such a broadly defined term, psychologists and other social scientists typically use the term subjective well-being when they talk about this emotional state. Just as it sounds, subjective well-being tends to focus on an individual's overall personal feelings about their life in the present moment. One's point of view and the life experiences shape one's understanding of happiness, which has many facets. The term happiness is commonly used to describe an optimistic mental state when one experiences joy, contentment, and a sense of purpose in the life. So happiness is a state of emotional contentment and the physical health that can be attained in many different ways throughout one's life. The aspirations, development and success in the face of adversity are frequently linked to a concept of happiness. The cultural standards, the societal expectations, and an individual's own character attributes can also play a role. Those who place a higher value on the spiritual or emotional satisfaction may place less value on financial success or belongings. As a whole, happiness is something that might mean very different things to different people. It's a multifaceted and ever-changing condition that responds to a numerous stimuli and can be fostered and developed via conscious effort and the wholesome routines. Now let us explore the different definitions given by different authors in relation to what happiness means. Let us first give the experience of the Aristotle. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and the end of human existence, said Aristotle. And as the Epicurus put it, happiness is the absence of pain and disturbance. According to a philosopher, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, happiness is a good bank account, a good cook, and a good digestion. According to Immanuel Kant, happiness is not an ideal of reason but of imagination. According to Dalai Lama, one said, happiness is not a packed good, it is a result of your own doing. According to Albert, happiness is not an end point but a process. According to Maya, my goal in life is not only to endure, it is to flourish, and in the process to do it with a gusto, compassion, comedy and flair. So we have explored the different definitions given by different people. So let us have a summary of the different point of views. So one point of view and the life experiences shape one's understanding of happiness, which has many facets. The term happiness is commonly used to describe an optimistic mental state when one experiences joy, contentment and a sense of purpose in the life. Happiness is a multifaceted and ever-changing condition that responds to a various stimuli and can be nurtured and developed through the conscious effort and the wholesome routines. Aspirations, development and success in the face of adversity are frequently linked to the concept of happiness. The cultural standards, the societal expectations, and an individual's own character attributes can all play a very pivotal role. Those who place a higher value on the spiritual or the emotional satisfaction may place less value on the financial success or the belongings. And as a whole, happiness is something that might mean different things to different people. Since it is a multifaceted and ever-changing condition, it responds to the numerous stimuli and can be fostered and developed via conscious effort and the wholesome routines. So it is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and the end of human existence. And definitely, all these definitions are very, very important and play a very important role in defining the holistic concept of happiness. Now coming to the different factors of happiness. Environmental and social. Your happiness depends upon many factors. Some of them are under your control, while some are not. Hence, there are limitations on what you can or cannot do about your happiness. Everyone is predisposed to happiness. However, all the people do not experience happiness alike. Some are more prone to happiness than others, as they are more positively, interpret their experiences and the interactions. The studies in the human happiness suggest that the following intrinsic and extrinsic factors may have a bearing upon our happiness in the different degrees. Now let us see the relation between the environmental sustainability and the happiness. The connection between maintaining a healthy environment and experiencing the joy is as follows. The ability to provide for the requirements of the current generation without jeopardizing the capacity of the subsequent generations to do the same is what we mean and when we talk about the environmental sustainability. It entails maintaining a social fairness and the economic development in addition to safeguarding of the natural environment and the resources it contains. So people's perspective on their own lives are reflected in the degree of which they feel they are happy as the condition of well-being. It can be affected by a wide variety of the things, including one's own health, money, relationships, and the personal ideals, among others. So, according to the findings of several pieces of research, there is a correlation between maintaining a healthy environment and experiencing increased level of happiness on both an individual and a social scale. Now, what is environmental happiness? Environmental happiness refers to the relationship between the quality of the natural environment and the individual's subjective well-being. So it is based on an idea that a healthy, clean and diverse environment can enhance the people's physical and the mental health, as well as their social and economic well-being. So following are some of the reasons why this relationship exists. Environmental quality, people's health, comfort, safety are all impacted by the state of natural environment in which they live. The access to clean water, green areas, nice climate, and on the other hand, it can improve people's mood and the energy levels. While exposure to the harmful environment factors like air pollution, noise pollution, and the harsh weather can be detrimental to the people's physical and the mental health. Now, environment behavior. The way in which people treat their surroundings has a variety of effects on the level of happiness they experience. For instance, people who participate in pro-environmental activities like recycling, energy conservation, volunteering for environmental causes may experience a boost in their feeling of purpose, happiness, and self-esteem as a result of their participation in these activities. On the other hand, consuming more than one's own fair share of environmental resources like fossil fuels, water, or land, it might bring up a feelings of guilt, conflict, and insecurity, all of which can lead to a reduction in one's level of happiness. Now coming on to environmental values. People's preferences, attitude, and emotions, they are shaped by the values they have about the world. Hence, those values have an impact on one's level of happiness. For example, the persons who love nature for its own sake, whether because of its aesthetic appeal or spiritual significance, they have a tendency to report the higher levels of happiness than those who regard the nature merely for the practical or financial advantages it provides. So, in a similar vein, the persons who are concerned about the welfare of the future generations as well as the other living beings are more likely to experience the happiness than those who are either apathetic and self-centered. So therefore, the preservation of the environment and the pursuit of happiness are intertwined and contribute to one another. People have the potential to improve not only their own happiness but also that of the others through the action that contribute to environmental sustainability. People can enhance their drive and the capacity to perform in a manner that is more sustainable if they increase their level of happiness. Now coming on to the environmental factors further. The state of mind known as happiness is intricate and multidimensional, and it is shaped by a wide variety of external and internal influences. The research has demonstrated that the environmental influences can have an effect on one's own level of happiness, in addition to the roles that genetics and individual personality traits play in the process of determining the happiness. The term environment can be used to refer to a wide variety of the things such as natural and built environments, the quality of the environment, the climate and weather, as well as the environmental sustainability. So we can say that happiness, in addition to the role that genetics and individual personality traits play in the process of determining the happiness. So the term environment can be used to refer to a wide variety of things such as natural and the built environment. So environmental factors can have a very significant impact on an individual's happiness. The research has shown that people who live in clean, green and well-maintained environment tend to report higher levels of life satisfaction and the happiness compared to those who live in the polluted or poorly maintained areas. So here are some very specific examples of the environmental factors that can influence the happiness. The first is the natural settings. Being in the natural settings such as the parks, forest, beaches has been shown to have a very positive impact on the emotional well-being. A study conducted by the University of Essex, they found that individuals who spent time in the natural settings, they experienced an improvement in their mood and the overall sense of vitality. The second is your noise pollution. Exposure to excessive noise from the traffic, construction or other sources can negatively impact the mental health and the well-being. A study published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology, it found that the noise pollution was associated with the increased stress levels and decreased life satisfaction. Next we talk about is the air quality. The poor air quality can adversely affect the physical and the mental health. A study conducted by the research at the University of Wisconsin-Madison found that the areas with the high levels of air pollution were associated with the lower levels of happiness and, of course, the satisfaction which they get from the life. The next is the access to the green spaces, such as the parks or the gardens, has been linked to increase the level of happiness and the well-being. A study published in the journal Landscape and the Urban Planning, it found that the individuals who live closer to the green spaces reported higher levels of life satisfaction. Next is your aesthetics. The visual appeal of the environment, such as the presence of green spaces, natural landscapes, and the cultural heritage can influence people's mood, creativity, and the satisfaction. Next we have is the sensory. The sensory aspects of the environment, such as lighting, temperature, sound, smell, and colors. They can affect the people's comfort, relaxation, and the safety. For example, harsh lighting and loud noises can lead to anxiety or agitation, while dark and the cold spaces can lead to a feeling of unmotivation. Next is the people. The social interactions and the relationship that people have in their environment can affect their happiness. So it is very important for the people to connect with others who share their culture and values and to be understood at a deeper levels. So conversely, the conflicts, discrimination, isolation can reduce the happiness. Next is your cultures and values. The norms, beliefs, practices that shapes the people behavior and attitude toward the environment can affect their happiness. For example, some cultures may value environmental protection and sustainability more than the others. So this may influence how people perceive and appreciate their environment. Then we have is the ecological services. The benefit that people derive from the natural environment, such as food, water, air quality, climate regulation, biodiversity, and recreation, can affect their happiness. A good ecological environment can provide people with the basic needs, health benefits, and opportunities for enjoyment. Conversely, the environmental degradation can threaten the people's well-being. Next we have is the access to the nature. The access to nature, whether it's through the parks, green spaces, natural landscape, has found to be beneficial for the mental health and the well-being. A study published in the International Journal of Environment Research and the Public Health, they found that individuals who had a regular access to the nature reported higher levels of satisfaction and the lower level of stress and anxiety. So there is a release of the feel-good hormones interacting with animal triggers the release of the hormones such as oxytocin and the endorphins. So the oxytocin, often referred to as a bonding hormone or love hormone, promotes the feeling of trust, happiness and the social connection. Then we have is the endorphins are natural painkillers and the mood enhancers that generate the feeling of pleasure and the happiness. The release of these hormones during AAT sessions can significantly contribute to the individual's overall happiness. The distraction from the negative emotions provides a very positive and enjoyable distraction from the negative emotions such as sadness, anxiety, or loneliness. So focusing on the interacting with the animals and experiencing the playful and affectionable behavior can shift one's attention away from the negative thoughts and emotions, fostering a more positive mindset and increasing the happiness. Then we have a sense of purpose and the meaning. Animals in the therapy settings can actually provide individuals with a sense of purpose and the meaning. Taking care of animals, engaging in activities with them, and witnessing their positive responses can give individuals a sense of responsibility and the fulfillment. So this sense of purpose contributes to an individual's overall happiness and the satisfaction with the life. Then we have a social connection and improved relationships. So this facilitates the social interaction and improved relationships, and they are essential factors of the happiness. Animals can actually serve a social catalyst, breaking down the barriers and facilitating the communication between the individuals. So engaging in a group setting allows for a shared experiences and a sense of belonging, which can actually enhance the social connections and ultimately contributes to the happiness. Then we have a positive associations and the memories. Interacting with animals in therapy can create a positive association and the lasting memories. These positive experiences can be recalled and relished, evoking the happiness even beyond the therapy sessions. The memories of the joyful moments with animals can serve as a source of comfort and happiness during these challenging times. So we can say that the AAT, animal assisted therapy, and the happiness are intricately linked. The emotional benefits, the release of feel-good hormones, distraction from the negative emotions, the sense of purpose, improved social connections, and the creation of the positive associations, they all contribute to the promotion of happiness through actually the animal assisted therapy. The unique bond and the interactions between the human and the animals in the therapy settings can significantly enhance an individual's overall well-being and the quality of the life. Then we have psycho-spiritual benefits gained from interacting with the nature. Interacting with nature can provide a psycho-spiritual benefits that contribute to the happiness and the overall well-being. The connection between the humans and the natural environment has long been recognized as a source of solace, rejuvenation, and the inner peace. So here are some key points regarding the psycho-spiritual benefits gained from interacting with the nature in context of the happiness. The first is a stress reduction and relaxation. Spending time in the nature helps in achieving the stress reduction and achieves the relaxation. There is an improvement in the mood and the mental well-being. So when you are interacting with the nature, definitely there is an improvement in mood and enhancing the mental well-being. There is a connection to something greater. Interacting with nature can foster a sense of awe, wonder, and connection to something greater than one's own self. It offers an opportunity to appreciate the beauty, intricacy, and the interconnectedness of the natural world. Then, of course, the mindfulness and the present moment awareness. Nature has a way of grounding individuals in the present moment and promoting the mindfulness. Being surrounded by the nature's sights, sounds, and the sensations, encouraging individuals to engage their senses fully and fully present. So, this mindful immersion in the nature can really help the individuals let go their worries about the past or the future, fostering a sense of peace, contentment, and the happiness in the present moment. Thank you so much.